you said never take no for an answer until you've heard no 3 times.
Yes.
Where does that come from? And can you give us an example of when you were told no and you thought, not taking that?
Well, you know, it really comes from Girl Scouts. So my family didn't have much money, and I really loved Girl Scouts. So the next year when we were starting, because I had joined a troop in the middle of the year, we were talking about everything we wanted to do. And I realized my family didn't have money for it. And so I stayed afterwards, and I went to the troop leader, and I said, I can't be in Girl Scouts. And she said, Sylvia, you love Girl Scouts. I said, I know, but my family can't afford it. She said, don't worry, we're going to sell cookies. And what was important about that is that was as pivotal to me as the science, because she taught me how to create opportunity. Now, for people who don't live in poverty, you don't realize that you know how to create opportunity. So she said, you know, you want to do all these activities, and I want to do all. So she said, you're going to have to sell this many boxes of cookies. And she said, what you do is you break it down. You've got your goal. You have the reason why you want to do it. And now you break it down into the different weeks, how many boxes you have to sell, you know, by that time. And you can always ask for help. That sounds simple. And for all of us who know how to create opportunity and make our goals, we go, yeah, of course. But if you're raised in poverty, you don't know that. You know to wait. You know, wait for the next paycheck. You don't know how to go out and create opportunities, because if you did, you wouldn't be in poverty. So just that mindset was so eye-opening and mind-blowing for me. The second thing was, I grew up in a very traditional household. All my grandparents were from Mexico. My family only, they spoke Spanish at home. And also, the culture was, as children, you don't speak to adults first. You wait until adults speak to you. So I grew up like that, being quiet, waiting for an adult to speak. That's really hard to sell cookies if you're waiting for somebody to talk to you first. And so that was the other thing my troop leader said. You don't walk away from the side of a sale until you've heard no 3 times. Now, when you're selling to people at church, your family, friends, everyone says yes. Yeah. But then I was still far away from my goals. So the question was, I had to then face up to my fear of I had to talk to people I didn't know. And I chose the first person was a neighbor that I'd seen only coming in and out of her station wagon. But I'd never spoken to her. But I'd seen her, and I know she had seen me. So I walked up to her and asked her if she wanted to buy some Girl Scout cookies. And she said no. And I stood there rooted in place. And I think she looked at me like, well, I said, no, go away, little girl. And then I looked around her and I said, is there anybody else at your home that would want to buy Girl Scout cookies? And she said, no. And again, she looked at me like, go. And I said, would there be anybody's day you would make if you bought some Girl Scout cookies? So she bought 1 box.
Ah,
and that was
very
so
clever.
important because it taught me persistence, resilience. That was an important lesson my entire life.